This conference will now be recorded.
Hopefully you are able to see my screen now, right?
Yes,
I've
yes, we
shown
can
you.
see
Yeah,
Yes,
your
sir.
screen.
right.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, right. So in our Azure data, so we are going to learn about Azure data engineering here. So this is actually called as data engineering on Microsoft Azure. So generally people say Azure data engineer or data engineering, but actually it is called as Azure data engineering on Microsoft Azure. If you go to the Microsoft documentation here, so we have got Microsoft exam also. So if you go to DP 203 here, so you see this. So this is the course content. Officially, this is what the exam you write, Microsoft certification for our subject. Okay, you can see this. Data Factory, Synapse Analytics, Streaming, Event Hub, Data Lake, and Data Bricks. Apart from this, we are going to learn on Delta Lake also. Okay, yeah. So this is what, right? So what are the topics that we are going to learn here is, so we'll talk Azure, why you need to go Azure later, but let's see. So basics you learn is here, SQL, Azure storage, Azure data lake storage generation 2, then Azure SQL database, Azure SQL data warehouse, then Azure Key Vault, then Azure Logic Apps. So these are the minimum things you need to know before you can know other services. These are the minimum things you need to know before you know others. So what are others? The most important for Azure data engineering. So you have Azure Data Factory, you have Azure Data Bricks. Okay. So here you will have, what you learn is, you will learn Python, you will learn PySpark, you will learn Spark SQL, then you will have Azure Streaming. Okay. This is Event Hub, IoT Hub, then Stream Analytics, then you will have Delta Lake. This is very important. Nowadays, people are going with this Delta Lake. So we have something called bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer. Then we have something Azure Synapse Analytics. This one. So in order to know these five topics, you have to know first these five topics first. If you're so after knowing this only, because you will make use of this keyword or data bases or logic apps or the storage accounts in these services, you make it here, you make use here. So first you need to know. So however, these are the prerequisites to know these all in Azure. But to learn this data for Azure data engineering, what is the prerequisite is? So you need to know basic SQL. So you need to know SQL queries, SQL Server. You need to know queries here. So what those are like: insert, update, delete, then join, joins, group functions, group and window functions. These are important. So if at all you don't know the SQL Server queries, then it would be hard for you to learn this Azure data engineering, because the reason is here we are seeing data engineering, nothing but you are going to play with data. Okay, so this is very important. So you need to know at least SQL Server queries, how to create a table, how to insert data, deleting, updating, writing a joins, taking multiple tables and writing joins there, and performing some group and windows functions. So these are much required. So this is a prerequisite to learn this total Azure data engineering. Okay, so this is all. So this is the total course content that we are going to talk. So so the duration of this would be nearly about 60 to 70 hours, 70 hours, including, so include this would take around some 10 to 12 sessions to deal with this, and remaining would be for this. Okay, right. So and duration would be 60 to 70 hours. Now when you go to the, so here you see this is data factory. Here you have got data bricks, you have got stream analytics, you have got delta lake, you have got synapse analytics. So these are the very important topics that you need to learn when you want to say that you are a qualified data engineer or Azure data engineer. You need to know this. Let's go into that. What is that? So if you go to, so Azure, right? So Azure has this cloud. Let's go here. So this is Microsoft cloud here, nothing but Azure. So this has come only from 2014 onwards. Prior to that, there was no huge demand for cloud. It has come to from 2014 only. The people started going to cloud. They wanted to go to migrate to the cloud. But was software from 2014? No, software was from beginning. Software industry. So I hope I was doing MS Office Pascal in my seventh standard. So it was around some 2000, some 1999. But prior to that, now also you can ask your parents. They say there was software a bit when they were young also. So it was around some 1990s. From 1990s only the software was there, was present. But people moving to cloud is from 2014. What made them so, at that time they were having something called like Office, like Fox Pro, like Pascal language. Now also you can go and see in some of the government sector, you will have this software also still enough. You will have huge amount of data in government sector with this programming. But prior to this was before software, before the cloud has come. These were the language which was supporting. So there was, now also you have here .NET, here you have Java, here you have Python, here you have .NET, Java, something like Python also, right? They were there. Then why people went for cloud here? What made them to go to cloud, right? So the reason is, if you see here, this is a cloud one. You can see. Go to this. So I've logged into the portal here. You see here, go and create a resource here. So go to compute. So you can go and create some virtual machine. I'll just show you the virtual machine here. Go to virtual machine. You go and create whatever the virtual machine you require. So you see, where are you going to create this virtual machine? So you have some data center regions here. You see, they have recommended some regions where to create. So you're creating, when you're creating this location, so Microsoft has got different data centers region. If you see in India also, you got many things. You go to this South Asia, see here, South India, West India. Did you see in Hyderabad, and we have in Pune, in Mumbai, and in Hyderabad. So you're creating this virtual machine. So what happens, it goes and sits in this data center. Then who is responsible to create? Microsoft. So when you're creating this a virtual machine, right, you are creating some virtual machine, you are giving some, so leave over the subscription resource group, we'll talk later. So you give some name here, you give here some name, I'll say as some VM SQL server, right? And here you require some image, so nothing but when you take any laptop or desktop, it requires some software, right? So image, so go and select what image you wanted. It requires some operating system. So you see, select this. Do you want Windows Server? So I've selected this. Right now. So I'm going Windows Server 2019 data center. Now what size? Because it requires some hardware component, hard disk, RAM, processor, right? So you can go and select here. So you see, they have given some series, what CPU you wanted, what RAM you wanted, what hard disk you wanted, what IPO, what type of IOPS. What do you mean by IOPS? Is IOPS, nothing but input output per second. So number of inputs and output per second. So how much you get? So based on that. So you see, and you can take whichever you wanted. So I'm taking two CPU, 8 GB RAM, 4 hard disk, 3200 input output, local, right? And the size here. Now select this. So when you provide, so give this username and password for that machine and click on create. What happens, this machine of 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 this operating system and this size is getting created in that particular data center. Then who is investing money there? And when you are taking this one, right, so when you are taking this size, you see, I have taken this 8 GB, sorry, I'll take this 4 GB, 4 CPU, 16 GB RAM. What is the cost of this? To 11,288 rupees per month. Did you see this? Cost per month 11,288. Now, when you select this, when you click on create, so when you're creating machine, right? So you are taking operating system, you are selecting required RAM, you are selecting requiring a processor, you are selecting the hard disk size, right? And it requires internet, it requires the power, right? So who is going to take this all? And it requires a maintenance also, maintenance, right? Example, if you, before that, if you want to purchase a laptop, so you want to purchase a laptop or you want to purchase a desktop here. Example, before we go for that, laptop or desktop. So what is that? You go and get some proper configuration, right? You want to go for some i5, some 16 GB RAM, right? What 2 TB of right? Then proper processor, then motherboard, right? You select these all. So the cost of this, what is the cost here? So you will have around some 75K. Similarly here also, you might have the cost around some 1 lakh for this. So what is that now? Upfront you need to pay the monies to the shopkeeper, right? To the store owner, you need to pay the price, otherwise you'll not get that machine. Then after that getting also, now you need to install the operating system, then internet, then power. These are required, right? Then after that you need to have your own application software, right now. These all are required. And regular backups. If tomorrow something goes wrong, so because of some power failure or because of some hardware bug or software bug, if this laptop is down, you are not recover, what happens then? You need to again pay the money and get a new laptop or new desktop, right now. So there might be many other failures, might be a short circuit, right? Power failure or a software bug, hardware bug, right? Because of these reasons, you are not able to recover, your machine is not working. In that case, what do you need to do? Either you need to recover the data, if it is possible to recover, otherwise data is lost. These all things you need to do. Upfront you need to invest money, and these all activities, operating system, these all you need to do it. You need to upfront spend the money. But now what cloud is doing, you need not bother for anything. We are there to support you, saying that these all resources in the cloud are there. These all resources. So these all resources, you have some thousands of resources. You go to create resource here, you see artificial machine learning. You go to analytics, you go to blockchain, compute, you go to connector database here, you go to develop. So these all tools, these all services are there. What is their intention is, you will provide you, you just use the services and pay the price for that based on the usage. Okay. Then when they say that what is the intention of any, it's not about only the Microsoft. So in the current cloud vendors, so cloud in the market we have many cloud vendors, many cloud vendors we have in the market. So we have Azure, that is from Microsoft. From Amazon, this is called AWS. We have Google, so this is called GCP. We have got IBM, that is Watson. We have got private clouds also. We'll talk on that. What does private cloud do? Private clouds also. Private cloud vendors also we have. What is their intention? It's not about Microsoft. Leave Microsoft. Microsoft has got its own services. Google has got its own services. Amazon has got its own services. But everyone's intention is to provide a service to the customers. So what they're saying is, you you go and create the required resources or services. So example, you want Azure data lake storage generation to create them. You want Azure SQL database, create them. You want Azure data factory, create them. You want Azure Data Bricks, create them. But when you are creating these all, it requires some hardware component and software component, right? Yes. You are storing data there. Who is going to take care of the data? Because they need every time they'll take the backup every 1 hour, or uh, every 1 hour, or full backup at night for 24 hours, for every 1 hour over 24 hours. Who is going to do? They are going to do it. And here you have taken SQL database. Today you are using some 2021 or 22. Tomorrow you want to migrate to 2024. Who is going to migrate? Microsoft does for you. So these all maintenance. What is that? What do you mean by maintenance here? So example. So daily backup, that is full backup for every 24 hours. Differential backup for every 1 hour. And the auto patches, right? Microsoft is going to release some patches. Who's going to apply? Microsoft will apply the auto patches here. You need not go. If there is any upgradation, so you want to upgrade the software. So from 2022 to 2022, who is going to do? Microsoft, right? If there is some fire accident, so you'll have, they'll recover the data very fast. You'll have around some 1.01% of loss of data. So these all services they are doing maintenance here. And apart from this, they are investing money on hardware and software for creating those resources. So you wanted to, these all you require for your project. These are required for your project. So Microsoft is more investing money, right? Investing money for creating those resources. So this is what they are doing it. So they are saying that you don't worry, we take care of everything. We don't require anyone else. Microsoft does this all. So this is what the intention of cloud. It's not only the Microsoft here. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM, private cloud, everyone does the same thing. Everyone intention is to provide the service. So here when we are creating this cloud, when we went and creating this virtual machine, right? You see this virtual machine you see here. So you select a virtual machine here, right? So I'll give some VM, some SQL server. Now go here. So I'm taking this. Now go to this uh, images here. So you have image, go to this image. I'll select some SQL server virtual machine. Assume like I require a SQL server software. So you see, I'll select this. I'm taking this license SQL server. So here what it is happening, you see this image. So when I go to the SQL server, you can see here, you're getting this SQL server 2000 enterprise on Windows server. You're getting operating system and SQL server. Microsoft is doing for you. So you have selected the image, and here you select, go and select the size also. Go to this, select what size you wanted. So you have different series here. You can see this all size series here. B series is all. So you want to go for this or what? So you have cost for this. So if you take 8 CPU, 32 GB of RAM, 16 hard disk, This is how what is input output per second, and you have 22,638 rupees, right? If you select this, right? So they charge you based on the usage, and this is a virtual machine you can shut down when it is not required, right? Now, so they create you and give you, so you can make use of this based on the usage. They charge you. The cost per month is, you can see, 22,638 rupees. It's simple. If you use, so when I say when you have turned off, they don't charge, right? Yes, that is right. So when you have a laptop, so you have a laptop here, you have brought. So what happens here, when you have on, right? You're on, you're turned on and started using. So what happens here, internally your processor, so your RAM is running, processor is running, and you are trying to access the storage, right? So the internal organs of your laptop is running, right, when you are turned on, because you have turned on this laptop, right? So you have hardware also there, motherboard, CPU, these all. But when you are turned on, this RAM, processor, and storage you are trying to access. When you have turned off, right, the same laptop you have, but this laptop is turned off, turned off. What happens here? So your RAM is inactive now, processor is inactive, right? These two are inactive, and it is not consuming any power. But hardware component, that is storage, in that storage you have put the data, right? And you have the hardware, right? Hardware is idle. So for this hardware and this, for this hardware and storage, they charge you because you're placing the size of data there, and hardware is also present there, but you are not trying to access any data. Because of that, processor and RAM is not working. They don't charge for that. They only charge for the physical physically which are present in that laptop or desktop in the cloud. So there is no laptop in the cloud, you will have only servers there. Okay, so this is what, when you're turned on, processor runs, RAM runs, all internal organs of laptop runs. But when you're turned off, only the hardware and storage would be there, remaining things all would be stopped there. So they only charge for the hardware, the size of hard disk, it is occupied, the amount of data that is occupied, and the hardware that you are taking for that to make that computer, but that is ideal. But they charge you for the peripherals that is occupied there. Okay, this is a, so this is what is the main intention of the people going for the cloud. So only thing is, we provide you services. The vendor, so what they say is, we provide you cloud services. Okay, so you need to pay as per usage. Okay, this is what the intention of the cloud vendors. Okay, so that is the reason people, they don't want to, because of, why they want to go is because of the importance of data, because of depending on too many things on networking people or hiring people, right? Hiring the people to handle the resources. So there should be someone to check, right? Whether servers are running proper, when the applications are running proper or not. You hire the people. So you need some networking people where you hire these people You make those people to be available for 24 by 7. They need to keep on monitoring. So they need to monitor whether the applications are running, right? And they should be available 24 by 7. And they should take regular backups. They should take differential backup, right? And you need a support teams. So who have to deploy the applications in the cloud, right? For these all people, now companies don't want to depend on these people. They don't hire when cloud vendors are doing it, right? They are doing it now. Cloud vendors are doing. So now most of the people want to go for cloud for this reason only. Previously, so what do you mean by this deploying the applications on the cloud? So nowadays you have got the just a minute, right? Nowadays you have got the Azure DevOps and you have got GitHub, right? So what happens here? With simple simple click, your application will get deployed, will get deployed, right? This is a so when this Azure DevOps and GitHub was not there, what do you used to do? So what happens here is when these were not there, you take downtime of customer, right? And whole team will come on Saturday, right? And they manually run the team will manually run the scripts to deploy, right? After that, testing team will do smoke test whether the application is running or not. So these all are there now. Whole day you used to sit and make the application down. Means you go in the morning and do it because that would be night for the customers. They don't access the application, right? Na? These all used to do it. Now these all things have gone because all people are started using the cloud services, right? Na? This is how you do it. This is what the this is the reason why people are going for the cloud. Okay, so we'll have still public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid also. We'll talk this from Monday. What is this public? What is this private? What is this hybrid? In what case we need to go for public? In what case we need to go private? In what case you need to go to hybrid? Right? So if you just you can't go blindly and put entire thing in the cloud. You can't go and put here, right? You can't trust. Example, you have banking application, you have insurance data, insurance application, you have pharmacy data, right? You have the gone. So you have what do you say? Uh, Government data, right? Like military, defense data. So these are very important. Na? In India, you can people sell your data, your mobile number, your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, but this is not right. If you lose the If you lose the trust of the company, people don't come again. So banking has got huge amount of data from the customers across the world. They have the name of the customer, mobile number, PAN card, SSN number. They're all banking transaction with that bank. Insurance also, the claim details, these all. Pharmacy data, these all. Pharmacy and government, military, defense. So in that case, how do you handle? So these all will talk what is public, what is private, what is hybrid cloud. We'll talk there. These all. Okay. What do you mean by public? What do you mean by hybrid private? We'll talk there. In what case you need to go for public and private? Right. Just leave. Right. So I've told you what is cloud, why people are going to cloud. I've told a little difference. We'll talk as we go on. Okay. Right. Now we were talking about the content. So I told you the very important is data factory. Very important. The next is data bricks, then delta lake, then the streaming, then we have the streaming, yes, synapse analytics. So now this one has come into picture from 2020. This one from December 2020, this synapse analytics, but still that is, it is not much widely used, but you can learn this. So these four are very important. So this is called an ETL tool, and it is used for batch processing. So what do you mean by ETL? Okay, so data factory. So Microsoft has got its own data factory, its own ETL tool also. So I'm dividing here. So I'll have this is on premise. Okay, not in cloud. Here I'll talk on Microsoft Azure here. I'll talk now. Right. So here, right. So Microsoft has got its own ETL tool. So that we call as SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services. But this has got now this is getting replaced in the cloud with Data Factory, Azure Data Factory here. So we generally call as the ADF Data Factory. So if you at all you want to learn this Data Factory, na people. So if you at all you go somewhere, so most of the training institutes you go, they say that learn only data factory, that is enough, but no one will take if at all you know data factory. No one will take. The reason is, if you know if you are good, if you are good in SQL server, this data factory is very easy. ADF is very easy because you can compare with the SQL server and do it. SQL server is, so ADF is very easy. So ADF only will not suffice your work. You need to know these three also. Right. Now coming to this, so till this ADF has come in the cloud, when ADF has come, prior to that we have this SSIS. So when you want to have SSS, you need to have a server here. So you need to take a server. Then you need to have some operating system, that is Windows. Then under that you need to install the Visual Studio. Visual Studio software. Under that you will have this SSIS. So don't worry, I'll show you this SSIS. You can go. I think I should have this. Let me see. Yeah, I think I have removed this. You will have this Windows Visual Studio installer. You will have this. So after having that one, you can have this SSIS. So you see, you have server. You need to have. You need to take procure a server in the on-premise, and you need to have Windows operating system, then Visual Studio, then SSIS software. This is how it works. But in the cloud, you can directly go and have this Azure Data Factory. You see here, Data Factory. Click on this. You can go and create a Data Factory directly. Okay. So here, this is for ETL. What is the ETL is? So you can build pipelines for data processing. So nothing but what you do, you take data from source, that might be files or from databases, right? So you have to read. So it's not guaranteed that you. So generally you read data from files only. In some cases you read from databases, right? Then then now you apply business rules. So these are called transformations. So for what? To clean the data. Once that is cleaned, so that becomes the processed data and load into target target system, right? Right. This is how you do it. So what is that business rules there? So they say you some conditions. These are the conditions you need to apply. Only that. So when you have got a file with, so you get some file like this. So you see here. So I have got some data here. Let me show you that. Uh, I should have some. I should have. Yeah, you have Parquet. So you have Parquet files like this. They'll ask you to read these files. This is not man readable. Huh? I'm telling you. If you I'll open this. This is not man readable. It's only the machine readable. You see here. So you will get data like this. So Parquet. So this is also one type of file. You get data. So similarly, you will have multiple files here. I'll show you somewhere. I should have some files also. Document. You should have it. 1 minute. Huh? Yeah. So you'll have many files like this. So you might get in CSV files like the CSV files. See here you got Parquet, right now, some Parquet. Similarly, you will have the CSV files also. Like this, you will have JSON files. Similarly, you will have the CSV files also. Yes, CSV files. So like this, you'll get files data. You need to read these files. They'll say that yes, check the whether that email ID is proper or not. Is that credit card containing 16 digit or not? They'll tell you some conditions to apply there. So those conditions you need to apply to clean your data. Okay. So this is how. So this is how you apply the rules in your pipelines and you process, and these pipelines you schedule to run these pipelines at regular intervals. So this is what you do in data factory. Nothing but cleaning data. Now, very important. So I know see most of the people might have aware of SQL Server. SQL Server is not so tough to learn. It's very easy to learn. But there is other thing is you have data bricks. This is very important. So everyone wants now who has knowledge on PySpark. What is PySpark? Higher version of Python. Okay, because Python or PySpark is much faster than SQL Server queries for processing data. So when I say Python, you need not write any object-oriented programming. You need to learn. What you do is you will write functions here. Functions, using that functions, how you are going to access or read the files data, then process the data and return data frame, nothing but data in the form of rows and columns. This is a, so here Python doesn't have much things here. Python is so easy. You are not going to develop any a, a application or a video game here. This is only required to process your data, but it will be some typical. The people who wrote SQL would be confusing to write in Python because it's similar to a programming language. So what you learn is here. So you learn set, tuple, list, dictionary. Okay. Then classes. Then you'll talk about functions and UDF. This is very important. User defined functions. These all. So don't worry, we'll teach you that. If you don't know, if you are not able to learn this PySpark and Python, so you'll not able to learn this Databricks, Delta Lake, and Synapse. So this, so you're learning. So Python and PySpark SQL. So this is dependent. So this, if you learn this, then you will be able to learn this data bricks, and you are going to learn delta lake, you are going to learn synapse analytics. Otherwise, no, you'll not able to learn. It will be difficult. So don't worry, we'll teach you this starting from basics. What is a tuple? What is a set? What is a dictionary? How to write a function? How you call? How you create a class? And how do you define user-defined functions? How to do it? I'll tell you that all. So this is very important. And I told you first only that these are the five most important topics you need to learn in Azure data engineering. I'm telling you. If you go and talk to some other person in, if at all you come for Hyderabad and want to learn data engineering in some Amirpet, they'll say that without knowing this also you can just learn this data factory and say that you are data engineer. They'll say you don't even require a SQL server also. That is all wrong. If you want to test it, you can go and test and learn there. They'll tell you how they do it. But if you at all you want to have some experience on data lake, synapse, databricks, you definitely should have some good understanding on Python and PySpark. If you don't have, it would be difficult for you to learn databricks this all. I'm telling you. So don't worry, we'll take that sessions and we'll make there, and we'll, so what you do is you also do the transformations here using that. So as you see this data factory can only do the batch processing, but we have here, this is also for ETL, but this can do batch processing and real-time processing also. Real-time processing is as soon as data is generated, you need to process. You should not wait for some time. Real-time processing. As soon as data is generated, you need to read the data and do it. Example. Okay, what do you mean by real-time data here? What do you mean by that? Okay, so let's go there. All right, let me go. So I'll just say a small example. So you're going on outer ring road, right? You're going on outer ring road now, right? So you're traveling in a car. The speed of the vehicle is more than 120 kilometers. 120 kilometers here. More than 120 kilometers. So what happens now? You will get a challan, right? You will get a challan to your registered mobile number. Why? Because you are exceeding the speed limit. So do you think there is a person sitting there and taking a photo? You are in outer ring road highway. It's not only your vehicle is going, there would be some thousands of vehicle going at that point of time on that road. Within within the radius of 1 kilometer, you will have some hundreds of vehicles going at that particular time. Then who is there sitting? Do you think there is a person catching a camera and sitting and seeing that whether you are, is that seeing your speedometer of your car? No. They have put, what they have done is they have put here in the road, they have put the IoT devices, IoT devices which detects your speed of your vehicle, and that device will take the photograph your vehicle with your number plate and how much speed you are traveling and at what point you are traveling. It will detect and take that, it will send to the system, right? To the system it sends, system will process the data, and with that, what it process data, because it sends you the photograph, it sends you the vehicle number, right? It sends you the speed limit, speed also. Then taking that mobile number, and search in the system, and you will get the challan based on the vehicle number. You will get that challan, right? Then who is there? This all who is doing it? Your car will not be there for hours together, right? At the same place. Within fraction of seconds, you will move from there. After 1 minute, you will be around some 2 kilometers away from that object, right? So this is a so this IoT will extract the data and send to the system. System will do the processing. Who does this all? This is real time data, because there would be hundreds of devices, vehicles going on, right? Similarly, if you go to a patient, so there's a patient in the hospital, you have a bed here, right? You have bed in the hospital, so the person is put on here, person. On this person, you have put some ICU meters, ICU meter here, right? ICU meters. What it does? It detects your pulse rate, BP rate, heart rate. What are why they are required? Because for diagnosing the patient information, and later once it captures, then it will give output in the form of a report, and that will be used for the diagnosis of patient disease, right? So this, if at all you don't capture this, what happens? Data would be lost again. If you don't capture the data of the patient, data would be lost from that patient, information would be lost from the device. But that ICU meters are put so that it captures, it detects the information from the body of patient and captures data. Later it gives to the in the form of a report. So these all real time data, right? So it's not like you go and give now, it comes some tomorrow. It's not like, it gives in very within seconds or minutes of time. So that is real time data. So these all for processing these types of data, right? So you require this Databricks, and Databricks internally use Spark cluster. We'll talk on that all detail. Okay, right. So when you go to Delta Lake, so remember why you use ETL for batch processing. Why you for use Databricks? Databricks can be used for batch and for real time also. But in case of batch processing, when to use, we'll talk as we go into subject. Now going to Delta Lake. So till now most of the people know, right? So when you want to update, see, so you used to have some database here. In that you will have multiple tables, right? Tables here. So example table 1, table 2, table 3, like this. T1, T2, T3, like this. Okay. So what you used to do? You used to do something called select, insert, update, delete. These all operations you used to do it on table previously. When Delta Lake has not come, you used to do that, right? And the second thing, you can maintain, you can know the history of data, who has made the changes, right? So many people work who has you can take out that history of data also. What was history? Who made change? What was data? What was data before change? What was data after change? Right? This all you used to do it. Right? This was, but this was possible only on the table before. Right? Na? Inserting, updating, deleting data. Why? So if you tell you have a file size of, so example, so customer is given some file. Let's take one of the file. Let's take this product details or something file. Assume this file has got some 100 GB of file. Can you open that 100 GB of file? You can't open. If you tell you also you open that 100 GB of file 100 GB of file type, file size of that file. If you open, and to which record you go and check to update this 100 GB of file. Assume like this has got 100 GB of file. I opened it, but this has got some millions of records or crores of records in 100 GB of data. Then how do you go and find that to which record you want to update? That was very difficult, right? Yes. For that purpose, what they people used to do, they used to load this data into the tables, and using this table they can put a where clause and go and update or delete the data. This is what they used to do previously. That was easy for them to update on the tables, but not on the files. But now this concept has gone. Now you need not put the data in the tables. You need not go and have data in the table now. You need not directly operate, insert, update table data only on the tables. No, that concept has gone when Delta Lake has come. This finding history, changes before, after, how do you track the changes, was assumption till data lake has not come. Now after delta lake has come, right, this concept of delta lake has come, you can modify data, that is update or insert or delete data directly in the file. It might be some 1 TB of data, 1 TB of size of file. You can do it using delta lake. You can maintain the history also, history of data, to check who has made the changes. You can have versioning, so changes before, changes after. You have versioning time also, so it maintains. So today, so 24th, 23rd February, 3 p.m. What was it? What was the data? Then you can go back and get the data also. 20, I wanted to have 24th February 2 p.m. data. Like this, you can go back to that version time and get the data also. Version timing, versioning, these all. So these all is possible now. You, so the assumption was like you can only do these updates or insert, delete on the table, not on the file. But that concept has removed now using this delta lake concept. You can directly, without inserting data into table, you can play with these all tricks. You can directly update, insert, delete, make changes. You can, after making changes also, you can go back and revert the changes and get back. using this versioning here. Versioning, you can go and get that also based on specific versioning number, or based on the versioning time, particular time, you can go and get that data. Okay, so this is how can do it. And about streaming here, right? Streaming. So I told you here some IoT device is put here. IoT device. So this IoT device is put, but how does this data should come into the system here? IoT device is put onto the on on the ORR ring road, but there should be some device, right? There should be some device connecting to this IoT and extract data from its memory and push into this system, right? To process this data. Then who is going to take care? This is a middle one who is going to this. So here you have something called event hub, event hub, or you can go to IoT devices here. So, so this event hub and IoT devices are going to connect to this devices, to these devices. So IoT device has got memory. So this has got some memory. It can retain till certain period of time because it's keep on capturing data that is going on, right? So if at all you go to CC footage also, if at all in your apartment or you know in your home, you have got that CC footage. What happens? It's keep on whenever there's a object or a person moving in front of that video, it detects that and stores in memory, right? Till certain period of time. After that, what happens? It's that data would be flushed out of the memory. So this IoT device, it has got some memory to store the data. But before that gets out of that, you need to extract this data into extract and push into this system for doing process, because IoT device cannot send the challan to that particular person. There is other system where where the data from this IoT device should be taken and processed and give challan to that particular person. Who is going to extract this data and send to the system is streaming here. Streaming. Okay, this is what. So we have got something called event hub and IoT hub and stream analytics. So you can see here, this is IoT hub, can connect, monitor, manage millions of your IoT devices. Here we have event hub, right? And we have stream analytics here. Stream analytics shop. This one. Okay, right. So this is about your. So I will talk on Synapse analytics later, but these five are very important to learn your data engineering. Yeah. So we'll hold here. I'm open up for the questions. If you really have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Any questions? I'll be there for next 15 minutes. So if you really have any questions, I'm ready to answer them.
Yeah, Shrikant, Apparao here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In the previously we discussed like a delta lake we can modify the data in file. So is there any particular files we can modify or all type of files?
No, no, you have
Like
many files here. You can modify any of the files here. You can
like
even go to
Excel.
TXC, you can go to CSV, you can go to Parquet, you can go to
Okay.
Delta format,
Mm-hmm.
you will have ORC, you have JSON, any files you can modify. So here
Okay.
These all Microsoft. So the files that I've shown here are Microsoft files only. Somewhere I was
Yes, yes.
showing you.
Got
Yeah,
it, got it.
these all files. So I have downloaded from Microsoft site only these all files. They have given multiple exams. So you see those Parquet, CSV, these all. So you can modify any file. But Microsoft
Mhm.
recommends to work only with these two types of files. Much supported.
Okay,
So when reading, you can read any type of the file. But when you're storing it after reading and you store it into storage account, you go with this format only. Microsoft says because of
okay,
high compression and when it is running over the internet. So when it is running over the virtual network or from a source to destination, it can easily run and it can easily compress your data. So Microsoft says to go with the Parquet and Delta format only.
okay,
Input can be anything, but when you are writing back, you need to have Parquet and Delta only.
okay, sir.
Right.
And one more thing, where after that we continue start classes, right? So
Yeah,
for that,
from Monday
how
we'll.
to, yeah, for how to configure the portal and how to the
Yeah, so
configuration ADF.
so from Monday we'll have 7:30 to 9 a.m. from Monday. So right, there would not be
Yes.
any change in the timings. So we'll create
Okay.
a Azure portal. So this is
Okay.
Microsoft free trial account.
Okay.
So you need to have the Outlook email ID and a
Okay.
credit card. So using that you can create. So you will get 200 US dollars of credit and the period is 1 month. You can use for 1 month.
Okay.
So this is a. So you might be requiring two accounts here. Very sufficient. The way I tell you. So if
Okay.
at all you follow me, this should be sufficient for you. You can use it perfectly for two months. Even
Okay.
you left with some dollars at the end of the month. Okay, so you can follow this. So I'll tell you how to create. It's not now. So first 2 3 days would have theory. As I told you, we'll talk about this subscription. So first thing is we need to talk about the subscription, then management groups, then resource groups, then we need to talk about cloud, different types of cloud vendors, different types of clouds. After this, so we'll be doing on third or fourth day creating the portal.
Okay.
From there we can do it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sir.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
so regularly you will have from Monday to Friday. If so, in some case I'll be taking on Saturday also, but Monday to Friday you'll have fixed time from 7:30 to 9 a.m.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So if at all you still have queries, you can call me. I think all the people I have pinged you through WhatsApp only. So I think my WhatsApp number with might you should have it because I would ping on the WhatsApp only this link. You can reach out to me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. From Monday we'll have regular session.
Sure.
Right. Thank you
Okay, sir.
guys.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
share you once it's converted to video. I'll share you on the WhatsApp group.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Right.